Hello everybody, my name is Anthem. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 The New Order as the United States. Let us continue off where last left off. So, in 2 months, well less than 2 months at this point, there's going to be an invasion of the Dominican Republic. There are conflicts going on currently in the Philippines and Indonesia. People are not happy with the Japanese, and that makes me a very happy boy. And then, someone might divorce the governor. That was also a thing that happened last time. And also there's student protests, but we're good. We're good. Maybe. Operation been successful. This is... I already forgot what this one was, but well done, gentlemen. I'm proud of you. Oh, no, this is helping the Polish. Right. So let us then, instead... we need to make contact with the Serbians. Yes, sounds good. To make contact with the Polish underground, we'll try to make contact with the... Oh, yeah, and there's the whole thing in Madagascar, too. Is that open here now? Not yet, but I think it will be soon as well. The end of French Madagascar. Madagascar, you know, I'm going to save just because I know this is going to be good for my thumbnails. Madagascar is burning. In a small government building on the outskirts of the capital of Tenerife, postman Bennett Moulin stares out his window. He can almost see the fires from the city and hear the cackle of gunfire. No matter who wins this battle, the German coup has ensured French rule is over. And if he did not find a way out of the country soon, so it is life. On a remote southern beach, Teresa Rakamovo, a PAD ESM political advisor, sits atop a crate of American weapons ready to reading an encoded telegram. He goes to himself. The chance for a relatively bloodless police coup was lost. 4 men must die before Madagascar can be free. In the shadow of an overturned jeep, the German officer pleads for his life. TAFAMA guerrilla Albert Razafi wasn't listening. He picked up the Nazi's fallen sidearm and aimed it at his head before hesitating and instead crunching his boot into the German skull. The second uprising had begun, and there was no time to be wasting ammunition. In the depths of the eastern jungle, AKFM communist insurgent Maznot Rab Iravelio listens to intercepted radios and smiles. Their time has come. Colonial authorities collapse, battle lines are being drawn, and the people's warriors have awoken from their long slumber. Madagascar is burning, but the insurgent knew. From the ashes, a new order would rise. Okay, so there's going to be a new conflict here. Herrera Koto was not enjoying himself. For the Mazalay lawyer diplomat the last few weeks has had returned to Abidjan to free... Wait, I'm going to read this over again. Herrera Koto was not enjoying himself. From the Malagasy lawyer diplomat, the last few weeks since he had returned to Abidjan, the heart of free France, he had been a miserable blur of meetings, training sessions, and negotiations in preparation for the covert liberation of Madagascar. Now in yet another oven in a room... listening to the best that he could to the CIA agent, explain the details of his plan. So once your boat has arrived at the Megale coast, you and your personnel will begin a 3-day trek through the jungle for your rendezvous with the resistance cell. Since we have limited manpower, you will have to pitch in with carrying something. I recommend that you take one of the briefcases holding your secret French admirer's substantial cash investment, and it will be lighter for you unless you really want to carry some ammo. Rakota's had enough of this. With all due respect, why exactly am I being brought into this mission? Surely I can assess in political coordination or radio or telegram. I'm a lawyer, for God's sakes. The agent placed his hand on Rakota's shoulders and leaned in. You see, Henry, you're the key to all of this. These cops, these brave Malagasy boys who are going to help us toss out the Krauts, they need guidance. They know they hate the French. They know, and they hate the Germans. But frankly, I don't know if there's much more to them than that. They need a guiding light, someone to show them the path towards freedom and democracy. You and the PAD ESM are that light. When they come to power, we can't let it turn to another Cameroon. I'm still not fully sure I understand. Look, I'm sure you're familiar with American history. If tyranny is George Washington, then you're, agent pause for a moment. Then I guess you're Magalasy's John Adams. Okay, foreign policy, Madagascar. Let's take a quick little gander over here. So we have the German government. We've got the rebellion here. And just kind of the empty territories, which we need to conquer. So foreign policy. We can perform 3 actions without I don't know what's going on with me right now. So we have a lot of political power. So let us... Spending assets will make certain operations more effective, although we'll be able to do less if we're worried about getting caught. Do I care about being caught? Yes, we have multiple nodes here. 50-50 between us and the Japanese. So right now, the rebellion is kind of like 50-50 in who they want to support. Currently under control of nobody. Under control of nobody. Do we have any friendly regions? I don't know if we do. Increasing the United States of America's factions by 2%. Will cost us 1 point here. Leaflets. Fancy IA assets. Airdrop weapon caches. So let's go here, maybe? Buy local reconnaissance. Airdrop weapon caches. Fancy IA assets. There we go. So that's going to be our stage 1. Our staging ground is going to be in Ansarabe, which is this little city here. Now, I don't believe we have the ability to actually... yeah, strike the match. Why not? I don't know if we have the ability to send volunteers, because these guys aren't technically at war. But they will be very, very, very soon. Now, is there any other conflicts we can kind of do anything with? Organize more descents. Operational strength costs 20. And that proves it only increases by 5, which honestly is like not that incredible. And we don't have okay, we can't do anything with the Philippines at this exact moment. But I want Madagascar to be a friendly government. For sure. It'll help us probably provide some support to South Africa. We can use that as a kind of counter to German operations in Central and South Africa. It has seemed like a good launching off point, right? Snap freeze in UK kills hundreds. Oh my god. Bribery. That was what he has been reduced to. Terrakoto, the lawyer turned reluctant guerrilla, sat in his insurgent camp deep in the jungles of Madagascar, pondering this. He looked at his men laughing, sharing stories of both the southern and Malagasy dialect Rakoto could barely understand. Were these even really his men? They hardly shared much culturally. The CIA had their infinite wisdom, had decided to land him as far from his northern homeland as possible, with the people almost as foreign as the Americans. It wasn't as if they cared about his politics, as much as the agent had tried to hammer home that he and his PADSM were to be prophets of democracy, bringing liberty to a dark land. In reality, his men did not really care. They hated slavery imposed on them by the French, and the brutality of the Germans, but otherwise seemed apathetic about the concept of governance and politics, no matter how much Rakoto had tried to educate them. This did not bode well for any future government, assuming that they would even gain independence in the first place. Did they even like him? No. To him, he was nothing, more than a jumped-up northerner and a wannabe Frenchman, equal parts condescending and dull. The reality is that these were his men, regardless of differences. Not because of ideology, culture, or camaraderie, but because of bribes. In the past 2 weeks alone, Rakoto has coordinated deliveries of seemingly endless American ammunition. He has seemingly endless fountains of cash, generous investments from the Free French businessmen, and no doubt already drawing up blueprints for future plantations. These men followed him because where Rakoto went, guns and butter would follow. Rakoto got up to relieving himself behind a tree. His moment of peace was interrupted by a harsh metal of a gun pressed against his back to his head. Before Rakoto could act, his brain was blown to pieces by his bullets, and his money disappeared into the forest taken by his men. Well, there goes our contact. CIA report Adolf Hitler. 1. On January 20th, a Tolkien agent attacked Adolf Hitler in an attempt to assassinate him, but stopped short by German security forces, who swiftly shot him dead. Despite the undeniable of Tolmukasun connections held by the agent, lead Abwehr documents and sources close to Sunshine show no evidence of Japanese involvement, despite material and methods matching perfectly. This has been corroborated by both Asakura and Lily, but sources close to the IJN and the IJA could not further verify the information. And friendly agents in Germania were unable to retrieve the body and the weapon for closer analysis. 2. Hitler's health has been in a state of constant decline ever since the signing of the 1945 armistice. There is now strong reason to believe that he is no longer competent to lead Germany, as many of his duties have been delegated out to various ministers and aides. Any attempt at a high-level diplomatic contact could be considered impossible, while Germany lacks a competent Führer. 3. Despite the official nomination of a successor, the fierce succession of line is far from assured. With the 4 candidates jostling for favor from the army, students, and other power bases, the situation is quickly turning volatile. The immediate withdrawal of Sunshine and Eagle is recommended for consideration. 4. Adolf Hitler is estimated to have a maximum of 6 months left to live. 5. Should Adolf Hitler die, a wide-scale armed conflict is almost inevitable in Germany. 6. Should the extended conflict break out in Germany, the Einheitspact is likely to collapse. Though armed conflict between the German Reich Commissariats seems unlikely, with internal unrest posing a much greater issue for many of them. Well, I mean, that all sounds like good news. I mean, our CIA contact did get shot in the back of the head in southern Madagascar. But if we ignore that, everything's coming up Nixon, baby. Everything's coming up Nixon. I'd love to see it. Operation failure. Okay, well, the Serbians are, they're shit out of luck, I guess. And then you are just make Germany have worse operations. I don't really care about that much. Stabilize Japan. Assist Chinese rebels. Is there anything to do with Madagascar still? Send them some weapons. Send them some advisors. Increase their support. And then for you, let's aid some Hawaiian freedom fighters. I mean, that seems like it'd be up in America's sleeve. And then global conflicts. Anything else we can do here at the moment? No actions. Okay, so tomorrow, okay, we can do one more action for free. So right now it is nodes 40%. Our strength's at 40 here. I gotta remember exactly how this works. Increase the strength by 10%. And then you are leaflets. Factions them by 40. Let's just provide reconnaissance. That should get them up to 50%. So I guess it is still contested, at least I think maybe until we do one more. And then for our research slot, let's just go for logistics 3. A man in his lemur. Petra Brisky sat on the beach, waiting for the dark shape in the distance to pass. It wasn't 2 weeks ago that he could take his boat out on any time of day. He wanted without fear. Not anymore. The Kriegsmarine had caught on to the flow of weapons supplies coming to Madagascar and was intent on putting a stop to it. An iron curtain was surrounding his island, but unfortunately for Brisky, this curtain had holes. After a few hours, the German ship was a safe distance away, and Brisky could set sail yet again. His small fishing boat, the painted lemur, couldn't carry much, but it could fit in its hold was far more valuable than the tuna he'd been caught before the uprising. Its small size was the lemur's advantage, though. In the age of radar and aircraft, few objects above the surface could truly escape notice, a fact that Germans were all too aware of. The ships they sent out were meant to instill fear into smugglers, but they hardly had enough patrol to patrol the whole coastline. Thus, blockade running became a game of patience and speed, which Brisky and the lemur had plenty of. In fact, Brisky almost wanted to thank the Germans, for without their constant presence, Brisky's shadowy clients and doubly the shadowy suppliers could not make him a quarter as well as what he had been receiving now. Brisky saluted to the horizon and shouted, "God bless the Kriegsmarine." Okay, well, as long as you don't... You can find no actions without investigator interference. This could result in a strike, coming closer to discovery of our illegal action in Madagascar. This will be strike 1. So I'm assuming they're going by baseball rules, where we can do like one thing. So right now, we're still in stage 1 of deterioration. 11 days we'll be able to do another point. And I want to see if we can at least... 37%? That's not what I want to see at all. Where else do we have... What do you need for the supplies? They don't control the node. Okay, well, I mean, fair enough. Are you close to any of these? 40%, 30, 20, 20, 30. Strength of 0. I mean, the closest is now kind of Moronano Gare. But I don't want to get caught. I don't want people being I don't know exactly what the penalties are. It might be like protest at home or something of that nature. Down in the Indies. One would think that the ambassador to the West Indies would be a prize posting within the ranks of the State Department. A coveted assignment to the sunny shores of the Caribbean. To Robert Graham Minor, he had one of the most unenviable positions of any statesman in the service of the United States. A maritime dispute. Fish? Uh-huh. A small lagoon? Yeah, where is this again? St. Martin? Martine? Whatever. Okay, and they can't handle this themselves. They're calling because of the Fed. Christ. What? All right. I'll charter a boat later. Yeah, goodbye. Putting down the phone and look with disdain, the ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary of the West Indies Federation nursed at his temple. It seemed every week that he'd be getting a phone call to mediate a dispute between the Federation's member states. Local authorities squabbling over research rights, lands, and, in this case, maritime boundaries. As Minor eyed the bottle of Jamaican rum on his shelf, he found himself forced to wonder if his predecessor's resignation had less to do with the post-dually shake-up of the State Department, but rather the sheer difficulty of dealing with the confusing amalgamation of colonies from 3 empires lacking any sort of... Ring! Savaneva. Yes, hello, this is Ryan Minor, Ambassador... Yeah, what? Wait, a dispute over what? Yes. I'll be sure to look in the matter. Will there be Less tropical paradise, more tropic paradox. Poor miner. Anyways, so we have 6 days. Offer aid to West Point. Let's send over cargo haulers to you, to Dominica. Does it say? Okay, 21 days till the operation has actually officially started. Let's send even more of these bad boys. Send them some more, I know, so this is for the dissidents. Yeah, so that'll be good. We're at 58%. Everything seems like it should go well for our potential invasion of the Dominica. I don't see a reason why we would have any real problem. Unless I'm missing something. Maybe I've put too many eggs in a single basket. Operational has been a success. Unrest in the Hawaiian Islands. And tomorrow we'll get our point. I will then use that to... Because you're still at 40, right? And what do you do? 30% contribution. You know what? Let's distribute leaflets. Oh, that's America, baby. Okay, good. And do I take a strike? I'm guessing it's like a 3-strike system. You know what? I'll do it. Well, we will not do 2 strikes. I'm not going to go too crazy on this. Surfing USA, a smash hit. The California surf rock group, the Beach Boys, are at it again, releasing their second album, Surfing USA, to acclaim nationwide. While some thought that the success of Surfing Safari was a fluke, and they would quickly return to being a regional success at best, the sales statistics have blown those doubts out of the water. The album has risen to #2 on the Billboard's Hot 200 albums nationwide. An absolute meteoric rise for any musical group, let alone a bunch of relatively newcomers to the recording industry. It seems the Beach Boys were able to capture the California mythos and encapsulate it all on their record, with their carefree and fun-loving lyrics about surfing, the beaches of LA, and the girls that inhabit them. The American people are positively enchanted by it, and the people are scrambling to get their hands on singles and LPs as soon as the record stores have them in stock. A new national tour is being planned for the fall, and an Australian one is being one for the winter, while some are concerned that it'll keep the Beach Boys out of the studio and unable to produce a new album sooner. Many are delighted for their chance to see their new favorite band live. Everybody loves surfing. I think I would hate to surf, to be honest. I'll be honest, I don't know how many people are the same. I actually never learned to swim as a kid. I still don't actually know how to swim. So I would not be caught in the water. No way. The tabloid press. Joe's office was a relatively small one, especially for someone who worked in the State Department. Though, he liked it all the same. What he did not like was people barging in his office, both for sake of professionalism and because they did so, the door was clearly near scraped to the front end of his desk. Unfortunately, today would not be as calm as the day as Joe had would liked. The door slamming against the wall as his superiors Andy transferred his office, slamming a tabloid onto his desk. Japanese agents teach... Wait, what? Why am I reading it like that? Like it's like a news thing. Japanese agents teach anti-OFN rebels with American equipment, it reads. With a photo printed on the top of the right of a training camp and crates clearly labeled with a hand and torch. Joe has just looked up to Andy's fuming face and grimaced. Afternoon, Andy. Why is this my problem? Joe asked, placing his pen against the paper he had been signing. Your job is to keep this secret. What the fuck happened? Andy puts a cheap paper and ink across the table, right in front of Joe. After picking up the paper and reading it for a moment, Joe held the paper, and so Andy could see it. First of all, this is page 5. It's not front page news. Second, Joe flashed the cover to Andy. This is not the New Yorker. This is not the Washington Post. This is the Albuquerque Daily. Why do you even find this? Third of all, Joe turned back to the photo in question. This could be anything. Japanese took captured Malayan supply drops and sent it to their friends. They leaked a doctored photo of some no-name paper so they could spread propaganda. We can spend this basically any way we want, because they have nothing against us. Joe finished, only calming Andy slightly. Joe, this happens again. We might not be so lucky. We got to decrease support to Madagascar, Andy said, half-heartedly. Joe sighed. And I said to Andy, but that's not my call. I hide what gets out, but more than we send, the harder it'll be. Try to keep this quiet. So that's the event for me doing the first strike. Because fucking Albuquerque? Who cares? It's only worth 20 victory points. It's Garbo. It's not even a real city. Oh, what happens there? Oh, Breaking Bad? It's not that big of a deal, Andy. It's not that big of a deal. Anything else we want to do? Infantry agents. I don't think we need to worry about that. Can't do anything here. And then you guys still have 12 days. Okay. But I will say that at least for the time being, I think it's going to be a great time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, one thumbs up. Not enjoyed, you can always thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.